Do you get excited about the fact that maybe the NFL is reawakening the importance of offensive line in the running game?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of guys right now, especially, that Eagles front, but also all over, the NFL that are playing at a really high level. And, they've been able to show that, the entire year. Saquon's an amazing back, but, it all starts up front with those guys.
Will, have you had any
No, sir, I have not.
Is that
Yes, sir, I anticipate it. Yes, sir.
Have you met with the Jaguars during this process?
No, sir.
What would it be like, being back with Brian Thomas, especially the year he had?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. With me, I'm just excited for any opportunity that I get, but to be able to link up with some of my old teammates, Brian Thomas, Mason Smith, Jordan Jefferson, guys like that, it'd be pretty cool.
Will, have you talked to teams about possibly switching positions, and how comfortable would you be doing that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams that I've talked to, they see me as a tackle, but, I feel like, I've told all the teams that, I feel like I put the stuff on tape to show that I can play tackle at a very high level. But, I'm willing to do whatever I can to help the team win. And, if you told me that, I was going to start at right guard versus, left tackle being a backup, I'm going to tell you to put me at right guard.
I know a lot of the debate around you is how have you dealt with that and how effective have you been for the course of your career?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've, shown everything I need to on tape to show, like I said, I can play tackle at an elite level. You can go look at my tape. There's not one play on there that when I get beat, you say, oh, that's because he has shorter arms. Obviously, I don't have, stereotypical offensive tackle arms, but, I'm aware of that, and that's something that I use, every week to, my game plan and preparation on how to attack different defenders. I like scoring touchdowns, so whatever that is, whatever we're best at, that's what I like the most. Yes, sir, I had. It went well. I had a bunch of meetings. They all went very well, and, I was just super excited to get in there with them.
Well, there's a lot of tackles kind of clumped around where you're at in the middle of the first round.
What do you think separates you from the rest of them?
My work ethic. My resume speaks for itself. I've been able to play in the best conference, in college football at the highest level, for 3 years, and I feel like that separated me from everybody else. 3 years starter in the SEC, and you can go look at all the stuff. It speaks for itself. I feel like that's what separates me.
Well, your body composition has clearly changed. What have you been doing differently after the season in terms of both your diet and your conditioning?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing the same thing that I've been doing, during the season, eating clean, lifting, running, all that type of stuff, just trying to get ready.
Who's an offensive lineman that you really respect?
Being from North Louisiana, a guy that I always looked up to was Andrew Whitworth. He's from the same area as me, played at LSU. So any lineman out of the 318, that's a guy that, you look up to, him, Cam Robinson, other guys of that stature. But, whenever I was in high school, the guy that you really look up to, or that I looked up to that was in college at the time, was Penei Sewell. Faster than people were anticipating, I'll tell you that.
Will, you mentioned,
No, sir, I have not.
Will, you mentioned you're from northern Louisiana, Monroe. Did you speak to the New Orleans Saints, and what would it be like to be drafted by a team that's not that far away from where you grew up?
Yeah, I actually got an opportunity to speak with the Saints. Being from Louisiana, being people only from Louisiana understand what football means in that state. And, to be able to not only represent myself, my family, and, that organization, to be able to represent the state of Louisiana again would mean everything to me.
Well, you mentioned Penei Sewell earlier. Who are your top 3 offensive linemen in the game right now?
I'd say offensive tackles. I'd say the top 3, in my opinion, are Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, and then Penei. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to do the 40. I'm going to broad jump and do position drills. I just want to show my athletic ability, versatility, right, left, whatever it might be, whatever they need me to do. I'm going to get out there and do it and just get excited to compete.
Will, getting thrown into the fire the way you did in college, what did you learn from that experience, and how do you think that's going to maybe apply to being a possible rookie starter at time?
Yeah, no doubt. I've had the opportunity to go, like I said, to one of the best universities in America, and earn respect as a young player in a very high-level locker room. And I had a lot of growing pains at first, a lot of learning experiences. Go back to my first play of college football. That was a learning moment for me, and I grew every single game after that, and just consistently got better, consistently stayed to the process, and only grew from game on game.
So no fear about your first
No. I mean, when you're out there, there's no fear in it. Everybody's out there to do a job. If you're scared, you don't go out there.
Well, we've been at the NFL Combine before where there's narrative about the arm length, like Peter Skoronski, you have the same thing, you have to answer questions. When you have to answer those questions, does it piss you off? Is it something that it shouldn't define you as an offensive lineman in my opinion, but I'm curious about yours.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, people have to nitpick something. So, I've heard it all my career. When I was coming out of high school, the college coaches, said the same thing, and I proved them wrong. And, that's something that I anticipate doing again. Obviously, like I said, I don't have the stereotypical, offensive lineman if you had to draw one up in your mind, arm length, but, everything is blocked with your feet. And that's where I excel. I feel like my footwork, I can match it with anybody I need to.
That being said, the center position, do you have any interest in playing that, or what challenges do you think that would present to you to try to play that at a high level in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to, like I said, play anything I need to get on the field and help the team win a Super Bowl. But I feel like I can play tackle at a high level in the NFL.
Have you met with the Raiders during this process?
Yes, sir, I did.
What was that like? Just Pete Carroll interview?
Yeah, I mean, it was very good. A very good interview with them. They're all great guys. I'm just excited to see where it goes.
Well, you get to block Jake just a couple of years ago. What do you think of his rookie year?
Jaden and Nuss, I had the luxury of blocking for, two of the three best quarterbacks in LSU history, probably in my opinion. And, with Jaden, his rookie year, it doesn't surprise me at all. A lot of people slept on him after his first year. And I remember verbatim, I told my dad he's going to win the Heisman Trophy next year. And, he did that. But, it just account to, his hard work, dedication, and the way that he pushes himself every day, nothing is surprising at all. He's an elite player, but he's an even better person.
Will, what are your best memories growing up on a farm? How that impacted you?
Yeah, I mean, it just taught me hard work, honestly. Being out in the sun, working, it just, it does something to you. And, whenever you get out on the football field, it just helps.
What were some of those chores that you
A lot of stuff that probably y'all wouldn't understand and nobody else wanted to do is the stuff that, you know what poly pipe is?
Polypipe?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. If you ever drive by a cornfield or a bean field and you see the white pipe running down the side, I had to roll that out. Miles and miles and miles.
All the talk about your arms, but just mentioned you have very powerful and efficient footwork. How did you perfect that level, and what are you still working on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I want to grow in every aspect of my game. That's something that I've told all the teams. I just want to keep growing as a player. But, something that I did, I mean, some of it's God-given, but I have a speed coach in Louisiana, in Monroe, actually, that I did all throughout high school to kind of.
Who do you work with?
Dudley Cowan, he's at TPS Sports right in Monroe, and he worked with me ever since I was a little kid, speed training and things like that. So, he helped me out a lot too.
Well, if you go to a team where there is a set tackle situation, how hard do you think that transition would be?
Not hard at all. I've been working on everything. I'm a versatile player. I can play wherever I need to play to get on the field and do whatever I got to do.
How did it mean to you this past year to have that number 7 tag?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to wear it for 2 years, but, it's the biggest honor I could receive other than being a captain. And I grew up in Louisiana, like I said, so watching guys like Leonard Fournette, Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson, those are guys, young kids in Louisiana idolize. And to be able to be in that conversation with those guys and have my name brought up with those guys, it's everything I could have ever asked for.
Well, how important is it to you to have a voice in the offensive line and then doing that year one with the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, that comes with, play. You got to come in and play and, be out there making plays to come in and gain the respect of older guys. But, coming in there and just being a leader in any way I can, helping the team in any way I can. And, yes, I feel comfortable coming in and being a vocal leader as a young guy.
What are some things that you've learned in terms of hand technique throughout college, or what do you think can help elevate your game?
Yeah, I mean, something that I've been working on, I worked on last year, was using a lot more independent levers. Coach Davis, one of the best O-line coaches in America, he's been able to help me, in many aspects of my game, but that's, one of many. And, it's just something that you work on daily.
What were some of your favorite battles in the SEC?
I mean, I got to play a lot of good players. I think I we wrote a list after the season, going after, this draft right here. I think I'll be on the, close end to about 15 guys that will go in the first and second round. So, I've had a lot of good battles from a young guy all the way up until my third year. So it's really kind of hard to single anybody out because there are a lot of good players.
What's your best take? Like if you had to tell a team, if you had to show a team or a fan base like why you should be a top 5 pick, top 3 pick, and you just say, here, just watch the tape of at least one game. What game do you pick?
From this past year?
You can pick any year.
I mean, you can go back and watch most of my games. I mean, there's obviously plays over my career that I wish I could take back. But, I feel like, I showed my dominance in every game. And, there's bits and pieces that I made mistakes on that I learned from each game whenever I did mess up. But, whatever game you want to go watch, you'll be able to tell.
So there's none that sticks out in your head of when you left that game, you were just like, man, that was the best one I've had.
Not like that because, I go into every game, with the same mindset, treat every opponent the same. I'm trying to dominate the guy in front of me and, the defense around me. And, like I said, there's bits and pieces and, certain plays from, individual games, throughout my 3-year career that I wish I could take back. But, it was a learning moment for me.
Will, what play would you point to that shows your competitive spirit?
There's a lot. I mean, I think anytime you see an offensive lineman straining through the whistle, driving a guy into the ground and just, really seeing that, he's going to give you everything he's got, I think that can kind of tell you.
What's your favorite pancake?
I had a pretty good, I don't know. It's hard to really think about one specific game. I try to get a lot of pancakes, so to really be able to single one out would be kind of hard.
Well, have you been able to get any kind of sense of what type of leap it'll be from college to the NFL, from the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the NFL is a different caliber. But, me being in the SEC is the best thing and the closest thing to the NFL. So I feel like, the guys coming out of the SEC will have the closest grasp to it. Obviously, it's going to be an adjustment, playing these guys that are Pro Bowl rushers, every week. But like I said, being in the SEC, I was fortunate to, be able to see some of these guys who are now Pro Bowl rushers. And so, yeah, I kind of have a feel for it and kind of know what to expect.
Well, speaking of the SEC, what were some of the toughest games you went to on the road?
I'd say, Bryant Denny's pretty loud, Kyle Fields loud, and I'd say an underrated one definitely was Jordan Hare my freshman year. That was probably, one of the louder ones I played in, but, nothing matches Tiger Stadium at night, even though you got that Tennessee sticker on the back of your phone.
Give us a scouting report on the guy on the other side of the offensive line.
Yeah, Emery, that's my roommate, that's my brother, and, whenever teams ask, about Emery, I just tell them that, whenever you're dealing with me and him, you're getting two guys that came in together, that, grew together, and, like I said, we live together, and we're able to push each other like no other. It's very rare you find two guys come in of the same stature, that are working for the same goals, that don't have jealousy about each other. That's my brother, and we push each other to the max every single day. I'm super thankful for him, and, I wish him nothing but the best. He has a great family. He's a great person, and I'm just super happy for him. Yes, sir, I have. Yeah, it was great. I really liked all the guys in there, and it was a great meeting. Like I said, early, all my meetings went really well.
Will, can you talk a little bit about your film study process over the course of the week?
Yeah, I mean, I like to watch all the guys that I'm playing. Our coaches do a good job of setting some stuff up for us, and getting us the answers to the test. Really, I mean, everything they do is to help us out. And I'm a big tape guy, so in their facility, anytime I can, watch an extra tape.
Have you gotten a chance to meet with the Bears this week?
Yes, sir, I have.
How'd that meeting go?
It went well. Great staff, new coach, know what all these about, and it was a really great meeting.
What was that meeting like in the sense of that team is run by former offensive linemen, GM, assistant? Does that give you any kind of comfort level when you're in a conversation with guys that know the job like that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the NFL knows the importance of, everything starts up front. And, to be able to have some people that have played that position, I think is huge.
Will, in terms of pure get-off, who are the top guys you faced either in practice or a game?
Harold Perkins, Jr.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you.
Yeah.